Mom, can we start a YouTube channel? Hi guys, my name is Tiffany and welcome to the channel. And I recently had to have a conversation with my 7-year-old little boy and my 8-year-old little girl about them starting their own YouTube channel. And I knew that this conversation was, it was inevitable. It was definitely going to happen sooner than later. And, believe it or not, it was later because when I started my channel back in January, I started my channel with one of my good friends. Well, not together, but she also started a channel at the same time doing just kind of motivational style content creation. And while we were keeping each other encouraged, she most definitely told me that one of the challenges that she was facing is that her little princess, every time that she sat down to record content, her little princess also wanted to record content. She wants to be a YouTuber. And nowadays, so many little kids do want to be YouTubers. They watch other kid content creators on YouTube, and some of them equally aspire to be content creators as well. So I knew that I was going to soon have to navigate that conversation with my little ones. And additionally, because now I have my own YouTube channel, and they see me creating content, and that has just equally inspired them to want to also be content creators. Now, it's funny because my kids already create content. I am one of those parents that likes to definitely go through my kids' tablets just to kind of keep an eye on what they are doing. Although they can't download anything to their tablets without, getting me to sign in or sign off on it, which they totally hate. But it just gives me a sense of comfort. And then after I even download those apps, I like to go into those apps and see what's going on. I definitely like to look at their Roblox because even though I don't allow for people to send them messages and I keep it like blocked, I still go in there and be nosy and see, what type of people are trying to send them messages, and then what rooms they like to play in. And just even though I don't know how to play Roblox, I just sit in there and, just kind of understand the vibe of the room. But a funny one that I discovered that I love to do because I get to see my kids being 100% unfiltered is I love to look at their photos. And in their photos, I have found that both of them have the funniest little photos that they take, but they also both already create video content, and most of their video content is like 5 to 10 minutes long, which kills me. They're just naturally good at it. They have very well defined niches. So the little lady, she is more of a faceless content creator. She likes to play with like those little mini foods or her littlest pet house or littlest pet shop, little characters, and she likes to script conversation using those little characters and, making little fun videos with little mini stuff, those mini brats and all of that stuff she's into. Now, my son, on the other hand, he is 100% in your face. He actually already talks to the camera, I found. He is like, well, in our next video, or welcome back to the channel, or let me show you how I'm doing this. So he is most definitely the on-screen instructor, or the class clown. He likes to flip and flop, and because he's my sports guy, he has done videos on his hoverboard. He's done videos on his rollerblades, and he has a complete series where he is learning how to do a backflip. And that series starts in the living room on the couch, where he has beat up the couch doing and learning how to do backflips. And he truly has taught himself how to do backflips, and he can come outside in the front yard and just do a backflip. Or he, like I said, likes to showboat. So the other day when we were at his sister's soccer game, on the side of the soccer field, he just all of a sudden decides to break out in backflips. So he's that type of content creator. Um, but then also, in speaking to them about the, the who, what, when, where, why of content creation, when I asked them why they wanted to be content creators, definitely they gave me the answer: because I have my own page. When I asked them who they would like to create content for, it is, they both showed interest in creating content for other kids their age. When I asked them, what, again, both of them expressed what I already knew. Like I said, the little lady, her what was little stuff and mini stuff. And for the little man, he was like, I want to just show people, my sports, and, how I do stuff. And, he's, like I said, he's quite a character. So I'm definitely scared, and I did not give them a definitive answer. And I mean, as any parent, we definitely want to be cautious if we are going to allow for our little ones to be YouTubers, because we want to protect them. We want to protect their privacy. So I know that you guys get the hesitation that I have as a parent. But also, I mean, I don't want to be one of those parents that has to say, or is saying to them, do as I say, not as I do. That's not fair. And in this day and age, that just really doesn't work with parenting. It's totally different nowadays. But if you think about it, we put our kids in lots of different activities, from sports activities, whether it be summer camp or stem cell camps, ballet or dance classes, so that we can foster their creativity and see what they are talented at. So if your kid is coming to you and they're expressing that they want to be a content creator, well, as a parent, isn't it my duty, in order to try to help foster that creativity, or that talent, that desire that they have? I mean, at the end of the day, YouTube and being a content creator, it's an actual job. It's something that they could grow up and be very successful at. Now, when I was a kid, that was not the case, but for our kids and for my kids nowadays, that is the case. So I really wanted to have a kind of grown up conversation with them in order for me to help fan the flames of this current idea that they are having, because maybe it might be something that they completely forget about by the end of the summer. Also, I have to kind of get some time to talk to my husband and see what his thoughts are in it. Although he doesn't know that he is definitely already featured in many of my son's videos, because dad is asleep on the couch while my son is teaching himself to do backflips. So I thought that that was pretty funny. But some of the things that I did and the conversations that I had with them was also the where, because I want to make sure that they are mindful of their privacy. So I asked them, where do you want to create videos and content? And I mean, for the most part, they don't get it, but they were like, well, at home, um, in my room or in the backyard, or, when I'm at football or basketball and at sports activities. And so I really wanted for, like I said, the privacy aspect of it, and for them to start thinking about that and appropriate places. So we talked about the where it is appropriate for them to record content, and then also the how they are going to record content. And they were kind of like, Mom, well, what do you mean how? Um, and because we have our tablets, so we're going to do it on our tablets. And I mean, they also have phones, not that they're active, but just old phones. But the how for me was, I wanted them to understand that it's not necessarily okay for, if we decide to allow for them to create content, that maybe they can include each other in their videos and the content that they create. But if it is something that is sports activities, or where it is inclusive of other kids, that their families may not feel comfortable with them or their kids being on YouTube or being posted on the internet. And then also, you don't necessarily have permission to film other people, even though it's in public, but just kind of honing in on the where and the how, and kind of making them think in a perspective that, as kids and 7 and 8 year olds, that they're kind of not taking into account. Now with their videos, I haven't seen where they've done anything with like friends. Maybe the little girl up the street, and she's not a little girl, she's about to graduate high school. But she's their good buddy, and she's an adult, so she can give them permission to make content with her and post content with her if she feels that it's appropriate. um, but I had those conversations with them, even though, like I said, I didn't give them permission to start a channel. But in order to kind of see what I could also additionally do to help foster their creativity as content creators, we are going to build a space in the garage with a green screen and all of that fun stuff. That way I can see how long they actually play with the content creation kind of space, how long they seem interested in it, or if it's something that will just fade away. And then I also want to set them up with success for success. So I gave them a little bit of fun tools like CapCut, and showed them how to use CapCut and just the cinematic versions and software that's already built into their iPads. Besides being maybe just content creators, I really would like to define as a parent, Are you just really excited about the video and content creation portion of it? Or do you really want to get into the editing and the coding side of the content creation? I'm going to be really interested to see what kind of stuff they do come up with. They know how to like use Snapchat. But I don't think that they've ever really like experimented with the editor side of content creation. For me, as a parent, I've also just kind of started to look and see if there is like a content creation, like summer camp or little classes that the city provides, or that is private instructor class that would be available or operates on like evenings or possibly weekends, something that I could attend with them as a parent, because I want to see what they are learning as far as that side and the aspects of content creation, and just to, be able to be aware and keep them safe from predatory content or nature, or just anything that, we would not see fit as parents to have our kids learning when it comes to content creation. But this is what I got. This is kind of the steps that I am taking as a parent to navigate this concept and idea of maybe allowing for my kids to get YouTube channels. Is this a conversation that you have had with your little one? Are you a parent that has decided to allow for your kid to have their own YouTube channels? And how are you going about managing that? Are you a parent that had the conversation with your child but ultimately decided, hey, this is not something that we as a family want to do, or me as a parent that I felt comfortable with doing? I would love to hear your thoughts, both sides, good, bad, or indifferent, on this topic. Thank you for watching this video. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate if you would continue to just follow along with me on my journey here on YouTube, being a content creator, and just navigating this conversation with my kids. And ultimately, if they continue to show enough interest for me to decide to allow for them to become YouTube content creators. Thanks for watching. Be blessed. Have a blessed day. And most importantly, do what you can to bless someone else's day.